glow is there. And it's bothering me, but it's okay. We're gonna keep going. Hey, I would love to start us off with this. I think sometimes it's helpful for me as we begin this roundtable. Um, and we're going to be jumping in the chat a lot, so just have your chat open as well. It would be helpful to me in certain things to define terms. I like to have things where I know, like, okay, this is what this means, and then it helps in conversation. So I hope this is helpful. Here's how we'll define tech, okay? This is how we're going to define tech from here on out. Let me get that going for us. All right. When we say tech in ministry, we're just talking about digital tools that help us do ministry more effectively. That could be anything from a Google form to collect child info to a scheduling app for volunteers to a Bible story video. You text a parent, that could be helpful. If it helps you as the church leader organize, communicate, or care for people better, it's tech. Okay. But I'm also going to say as well that I would today for this next hour, I would also not like to limit it to digital form. Like if it has a battery and it's operated, that's great. If it's online, a platform, that's great too. But if you have something else that has helped you in the past make ministry more effective to help care for people better, we want to hear about it too. I think that's the wonderful part about collaboration is tools of all types. So, but we're gonna kind of specifically dive into the tech part. So, with that said, with that definition, again, jump into the chat, open up your chat. I want to know what is your go-to, what is your favorite ministry tech tool, online platform. I'm going to tell you, I love a good timer. I love timers for my autistic son and to use them in ministry. So that's my go-to ministry tech tool. I'm in Canva a lot, and I love a lot of others. But what is your favorite? I want you to put that. Yes, Lois, I'll absolutely, after this question, put that definition of tech back up there. Thank you for that. But jump in the chat, everybody. Tell me your favorite. What is your go-to ministry tech tool these days? Canva. All right. Cool, cool, cool. Keep going. Okay, while you're doing that, I'm going to put up that last slide so maybe we can all use that. Good deal. Group me. Yes. Grayson, we're going to talk about that. I want you to tell us how you use it in your ministry in a second. Yeah, Sarah, absolutely. So what I want us to be thinking about in a minute when we kind of open up the floor for round tabling these tech tools, it's great to help each other know the actual tool, but when you explain the tool that you use, also explain the procedure that goes with it, because that's also helpful in helping us understand, hey, I use Canva, but here's how I use it to make it more. So tell us the tool, but also tell us how you, what's the process and procedure that you use it for. So when we all go around to kind of explain different ones that we use, be sure to remember to explain the procedure and anything that would be helpful for us to know and how you use it. All right. Cool. Well, we'll do this. Let's just go in order if you don't mind. For those of you who have kind of jumped in the chat, uh, to tell us what tech you use. Let's see. Teresa, would you mind telling us how you use Canva? Um, would you mind unmuting if you don't mind? Just kind of tell us how you use it in ministry.
Yeah, hey, can you hear me?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay. I use it for a lot of different things. We're a larger church and we are blessed to have a creative department that also creates a lot of graphics and other things for us. We've even used Canva where we've given them our login and they'll create graphics in there that we can change and adjust. I use it for we made a bingo card, a summer bingo card for our friends. So like come to church and they check it off. And so we're trying to get bingo. We're using it for some discipleship plans. So I can create something that looks, people friendly and easy to read. Used it for presentations before, how to share the gospel, teaching tools, making a calendar of events for our ministry.
Hmm.
Uh, Basically anything I need that needs to be visual, I'm putting into Canva.
Gotcha. Absolutely. And it's also very easy, wouldn't you say, for someone who has never had any design experience?
Yeah, because they have a lot of templates. So even if you just pick a template and then plug and play in with your colors and your fonts and your pictures, so it does have some really easy access ways to use. I would say it's pretty user friendly.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Cool. Canva. I'm sure other folks too could just say some things about anybody else use Canva? Go ahead, unmute. Yeah, if you have an idea as far as Canva, let's cover it now. Different things, but Teresa, those were awesome ways to use it. Anybody else?
Hi, I've used Canva before. I've used it to help make social stories.
Yeah. Okay. So anybody else use because social stories, I'm assuming when you create like a new document, can you go through that, like just your process on how to do social stories in Canva?
Yeah, it's mostly just using it to find like the visuals and then creating it page by page.
Right. Yeah. Awesome. Very good for that. Anybody else using Canva? All right. Cool. Yeah, great resource. All right, let's move on. Richard, can you tell us iDoc to keep track of people? What's iDoc and how do you use it, Richard?
Excuse me, I didn't unmute myself.
Yeah.
iDoc actually, that's what we call it. It's a longer name. I put it in later in the thing. But anyway, it's used by teachers for um, a teacher in a class to keep roll in the public school or something. We've adopted it for keeping track within our ministry. We run up to 5 Sunday school classes, and people move, and so and tracking. And what I like about it, if the internet goes down, it's still good to go. It
Oh.
syncs it syncs up with but you have the information on the pad, not on the web. And
Yeah.
it doesn't do Android, it only does iOS. But what we really like about it is that it doesn't go down if the web or power goes out. And if the power goes out, we need our checking system to be for sure working, right? So that's why we like it.
That's awesome. Okay, so iDoc, using it to keep track of people. So, Richard, is it like are you able to keep a friend, child, teen, or adult, like their information as far as contact and like what all are you using it for to keep track of?
Well, first, let me give you the full name. It's IDOCEO.
Oh,
And yes, you can. It has some basic fields that you can fill in, but better than that, you can attach a resource. And so we keep docs on our folks, medical information. Are they legally competent? Do they have seizures? Emergency contacts, in case we have to call 911 or something that we want to be able to pull up and have.
gotcha. So it's an app or is it like online based?
It's an app.
Okay.
It doesn't cost much, $20,
Okay.
and it's really designed for a teacher in a school, and so we do basically a classroom. We set up a classroom, but all of our folks are there, and you can sort by how they get there. We have people who come by public transportation. We have people whose families, people get there in different group homes, drop people off. So as they arrive, we can sort by how they're coming, so we're checking them in that way. And
Mm.
then once they break into groups, we resort it by what class they're in. So you go to class, and the people who are there, you should see, and this makes all that a more straightforward task for us.
Awesome. Okay, cool. Yeah, y'all check that out. That sounds like it's amazing to be able to do that. Thanks, Richard. Sophie, tell us how the good old TV in your area, how does that fit into ministry and make it easier and
So
effective?
we actually use a program called Playlister to get everything onto our TVs. So within Playlister, we upload videos. You can copy and paste the link directly from YouTube, which is how we use it a lot. So to get our Bible story videos and things like that. We also upload slides to that, and then you choose which TV you want it to go. It kind of works like AirPlay a little bit, and then you can upload all of your stuff, and your teachers have the remote, and all they have to do is click the little arrow button, and that's it. So it's very user friendly for our teachers, and everything's already uploaded for Sundays, and so they can just kind of click through it, and it's very easy. We love Playlister here at Prestonwood, so.
Yeah. So I will test. Our church just went to Playlister too. And so, are your teachers using like just a Chromecast or an Apple TV? What's going on in the actual classroom to help them just be able to turn that on and press play? Or y'all,
So it's a normal TV with a Apple Play or
right? Yeah.
AirPlay Apple thing plugged into the back of it, and
Right.
then Playlister is connected to the AirPlay. So we just go in on Sunday mornings and we already have it clicked so that
Mhm.
they only have to click the next button, and
Right.
that's it. So it's very easy for our teachers.
Yeah. It has been revolutionary for us too, because it used to be the whole good old fashioned DVD player, right? The put the DVD player, but since we switched, and my husband's actually a production director at our church who, he set everything up for so literally it's one person putting in the files, like you said, and
Mhm.
then teachers walk in and just press play. It's
Yeah,
absolutely.
it's awesome.
Yeah. Would you put that in the chat too, Sophie, playlist,
Yes,
things like that?
I
Because
will.
it's one of the absolute best tools to use in ministry for sure. Cool. Thank you, Sophie, for that. Grayson, I'm interested. Group me. Tell us all about it.
Good afternoon. I'm Jeff, and this is Sharon from Lakewood Ranch Baptist Church. Sorry, it's under my friend's account.
Okay, no worries.
So, GroupMe has been revolutionary for our ministry. It is so helpful for so many reasons, but basically, it's an online, it's an app, it's a chat platform, and it's great for organizing events and getting RSVPs and communicating without the horrors of a giant group chat. So, it's so nice. So we use it for all of our events that we have, like respite nights. So for like a respite night, we can post the event in our GroupMe app, which all of our volunteers are logged into and can participate in a large chat, and they will get a notification for an event that we host that will show them the date, the time, and it will ask them to RSVP. And then if they don't RSVP, you can set up to 2 reminders that'll go out within the week, but prior to the event. So it's a great reminder, and then you can see who's coming and plan accordingly long before your event happens. So it's a great resource to communicate with your volunteers and to get events out. And you can put pictures up there, you can put location, plug everything right in. It's super user friendly. Highly recommend.
Absolutely. Jeff, remind me, I've never actually been the back end person that sets everything up. Is GroupMe, because I have it for my kiddos and different things. Is it free, or do you have to do like a package thing?
Yeah,
Um,
it's totally free, and
okay.
it's a part of Microsoft.
Okay, yes, yes.
Yeah, it's totally free.
Cool. Anybody else using uh uh, let's see if you could do your react button. Y'all see the react button on Zoom down at the bottom center. If you'll like just give me a thumbs up when is anybody else using GroupMe? Or you can give me a thumbs up in Zoom. It doesn't matter. There you go. Okay, I see some thumbs up. Cool. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, that is a great way if you think about, hey, these free apps, they're great, Make use of them. Free apps for volunteer scheduling and communication. Cool, cool, cool. Thanks.
Amen.
Yep. Sarah, tell us more about your comment. Church app and stuff.
Okay, so the first reason I like Church app is because it is one app that does a whole bunch of things. Nobody has space on their phone to download like 6 different apps to use once a week.
Yeah.
So I like that you can put all of it in one place. Like you register your children for Sunday school on it, you view the church newsletter on it. If there's any events you want to go to, that's on there too. So it's encompassing. But actually within ministry, what I like about it is that every child gets more or less the same sticker,
Mhm.
and then that sticker helps the teachers know what they need to know about that child.
Mhm.
So you don't have, the kids who are needing the extra help identified in a way that the other students don't need to know about. And then something else that's cool is that the parent gets a matching sticker that has to be shown for the child to be picked up. So that saves, if there's any custody issues or anything, or the child does frequently wander off, you just make it a blanket statement for the church. Every child needs to have that sticker to be picked up. So it
Yeah,
does a lot for one small application, is basically what I like about it.
right. Can't you through the church app and through the sticker, like you can put like what room numbers they're in,
Yes,
shows
the
up
child's name. And
dietary restrictions.
then there's a alphanumeric code that attaches to the parents. And then under that, there is space that you can simply write, check my binder sort of thing.
Hmm.
If the child has information that the teacher should be checking, but the other students don't need to know about it.
Yeah,
The other thing I really like about it is that it's cross-compatible with both Apple and Android,
gotcha. Yeah.
whereas a lot of apps only work well in one or the other.
Right, right. I know for church app and just the sticker thing, it's also helpful dietary restrictions and also I heard a church do it like because they have a big foster care ministry, right? And so
Yeah,
you had to know no pictures. So you would be
right.
able to look at that kid's tag really quickly and say, oh, okay, they don't need to be in pictures or video either. So it's very
Yeah.
nice. Yeah, thank you, Sarah. That's great. Yeah, church app is wonderful. Um, cool, cool. Sarah, while you're on, wait, okay, that was just another comment. I'm sorry. Um,
But
Jason.
also, the thing I said about any initialisms or acronyms, it's very important to spell out what you're talking about.
Yes, yes, you're right about that. Absolutely. Cool. Jason, can you tell us, 'cause I love this about Canva, also being a graphic designer. Jason, tell us about what you mean by brand kit on Canva.
Yeah, sorry, I'm trying to start
Oh,
the video here. For some
no
reason, it won't
worries.
let me. So we had a another team member that uses Canva as well to kind of create their own, primarily for social media. And I'm a big stickler on how how it's presented. And I don't want our logo, to show up stretched across a graphic in neon colors when it's not meant to be that way. And then, also specific color palettes and things like that that we've worked on. So um, I created, and I could, if I could probably put together steps for that if anybody ever wanted it. But you can go into Canva and just probably search branding kit, and you can select like fonts, I believe. You can select colors. So I put together like our color palette and our logo, like in the, some of the formats that I think the other team member would use. And then you can share that with them. So when they log in, they just have that information. For those of you that have the Creative Suite, I think if you don't have the Creative Suite, I think you can go to TechSoup.org and get a discount, a
Mhm.
nonprofit discount on that. But if you have the Creative Suite, you don't want to mess around with Canva. Adobe Express, I don't know when they launched, but Adobe Express is basically Canva, but it's all wrapped up in the Adobe Creative Suite, and they also have the branding kit as well. For any of y'all that, and I just saw that comment that says we pay for a premium account. We don't. If you're a nonprofit, you can get on there and search for that, so you shouldn't have to pay for a premium account, so you can save all of that money and still have access to all the cool features.
That's right. Absolutely. Thank you for saying that, Jason. I actually just did this a month ago for Key. And so, hey, if you're paying for Canva and you have a 501c3, simply Google Canva for nonprofits. And that'll be the first thing to come up. So simple. I think they have a form, you fill it out, you upload your 501c3 form, and then they get back to you within a week, maybe 2 weeks or kind of thing, confirming whatnot. And the pro Canva is completely free. Just FYI too, if you have a 501c3, Google Workspace is free as well. And so if any of you are paying for your Google, at your domain, if you have a 501c3, Google Workspace is free as well. So take advantage of that. And you can also email me and I can help out with that. Richard, from the best of my knowledge, I believe GroupMe is the same as Remind Me. Absolutely. Charlie, yes.
Yeah, on the topic of free for nonprofits, one of the things that I like to mention to people is Accessibee is a widget that you can put on your website. It is, to the best of my knowledge, still free for nonprofits that are specifically about disability. Sorry, did I say that wrong? For websites that hosted by nonprofits that are specifically for disability, it is free, and it is a really, really great accessible widget for your website to make your website accessible. It is like, I love it. And there's like over 50 accessibility features on it, and it works super well. There is a cost for nonprofits if you're not specifically disability related. But like for our ministry, Overcomer Ministries, since we are specifically a disability ministry, Accessibee is completely free.
Charlotte, is this the one where when you see their little logo at the bottom and then you can click on it and it brings up a widget to you can like choose how your website. I looked into it too. Is that the one?
Yes, there are quite a few different ones. I'm not sure, and a lot of them, there's usually the blue circle with a little stick figure person, and you can place that usually either the top or bottom of your website. It's very easy to install. There are different ones. In my research, I really liked Accessibee. They had a lot of features that are really great. You can change all kinds of visual things. You can even do things like focus, where it'll kind of highlight where your cursor is and then darken the rest of the site. You can make your cursor bigger, different colors. You can highlight different, like the main headings on a website. I mean, it's just got tons of different features that are wonderful. It works super with screen readers. They're even improving it all the time. So it is it's run by people who have disabilities. So it's very, it's very vetted by them. And it's really an exceptional product in my opinion.
Yeah, we're looking into it too. Thank you for mentioning it. That I would very much encourage all of us to look into that. And there, like you said, there are many of them, but the one that Charlie mentioned is the one we're looking into as well for the Q Ministry website. And so we want to make sure that websites are vital for information, so we want to make sure they're accessible for all. Hey, Don, would you unmute? And one of my favorite as well is TechSoup, but some people may not know what TechSoup is. Don, can you kind of explain what it is?
Yeah, so TechSoup is a place where you upload your nonprofit information. And then a lot of companies use TechSoup to vet organizations to ensure that they are active, current, nonprofit 501c3s. And then you get codes to be able to access their products. So we've received Microsoft 365 for our team. We've received Canva. We've received QuickBooks, all free for our organization. Payroll services like OnPay, and you can get hardware from Dell at discounted rates, Adobe products, So that's a great place to kind of start looking for what might be out there.
Absolutely. Again, encourage TechSoup.com. Not sure if you just Google TechSoup. I would recommend, just like Don just said, anytime you go to buy a certain software, go to TechSoup first, search for it, and then see if they have they don't have everything available for nonprofits to use. But if you're going to buy a subscription-based software online, check TechSoup first and see if they are have a coupon or a deal for nonprofits. It's great. Because for the very thing that we're on right now, TechSoup has Zoom Pro discounts, and so that's a big one. It took off almost half of what we would have paid for Zoom for the Pro using the TechSoup yearly subscription. So very much a great resource. Thanks, Don. Good. Got some GroupMe fans. Thank you for clarifying that, Jeff. Maybe not this GroupMe may not be the same totally as Remind Me, but definitely similar. Let me see. We got any new things going on? Good. Lots of people using Brand Kit on Canva. I'm glad to see that. Thank you, Jason, for putting that link in. Okay, Sarah, you got a lot more things. Tell us about, I want to know more about Boardmaker. I mean, some of you may already know Boardmaker. I think it's familiar in disability ministry, but Sarah, can you explain what it is?
Okay, so as far as I know, our church doesn't actually use it. But it is the software that makes it very easy to work with social stories, PECs, all of your big visual things. But to buy it is rather expensive. So
Is it the
there's
one
that.
that gives you like the um that I see often, like my son's school uses it to create like visual symbols and like
Yes.
people that okay, I gotta lesson picks, I think. Okay, explain. That's the one I knew. Boardmaker and lesson picks are kind of similar, but somebody kind of explain for me a little bit what lesson picks may offer that Boardmaker doesn't.
I think Lesson Picks is very similar to Boardmaker. It's just a lot cheaper. And I feel like it's a little bit easier to navigate. And it's more user friendly than Boardmaker.
Okay.
I know Boardmaker is really expensive per year. I'm not sure offhand how much it is. And Lesson Picks is only $36 a year.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, that's where I'm. So my son's one-on-one this past week at VBS had his visual schedule. Like we go to worship rally, then we go to missions, then we go to snack, then we go to playground. And I asked her, I was like, "Hey, where did you get that?" And she said, "Lauren Hickman, who led our Disability in the Church, how to start a disability ministry breakout session. Lauren told attendees to go and use Lesson Picks because of exactly what you said. It's much cheaper. And so my son's one-on-one used Lesson Picks to create his visual schedule with the icons. So absolutely loving. All right. Thank you, Meekins. I'm going to ask my friend Beth Golick about Boardmaker and how to do that. But yeah, same Lesson Picks and Boardmaker is a go-to tool for us as disability ministry leaders because we know visuals are one thing that help with that. Hey, Charlotte, come back on. Tell it. I want to dive in a little bit with live captions, just because I believe those are also essential in ministry. Tell us more how you use it.
Well, we are trying to use it. I would love help with that because we are having trouble with it being compatible. I'm really outside my wheelhouse right here, guys. So the little bit that I understand, I've got a team of people trying to work on this for our church, and we're trying to get live captions going. They're having trouble with it being compatible with Proclaim, I believe, which is what we use, to send it up on the screen and stuff. So yes, I'd love to get some ideas on that. If any of you all are doing live captions in your services, how are you doing this? If you happen to use Proclaim as well.
Anybody doing live captions in services? We'd love to know more. Okay, because I know we use ProPresenter, and I'm not sure about live captions, but if anyone does, please jump in and let's talk about that, because I do believe we need to. That is one thing in our disability ministry we need to be mindful of as we go forward. Cool. All right. So I'm at the end of the chat, but I want to keep the conversation going. So that actually was a great segue. What are those were our go-to tools, right? Just like Charlie just said, this is something that we need to know more about. So we're going to add that to our list. What is others that you are like, hey, we're seeing this need, but we don't know how to use this to help? Are there tools that you're looking into right now for your ministry? That one was a great example. What are ones that you're looking into so that we can create and compile a list and maybe help each other collaborate with ones? Is there a tool that you are um, looking into right now? Just go ahead and unmute. The floor is open. Go ahead, Sean.
Yeah, I also in my message there, which may be a little unclear, we are also desperately searching for ways to make social media easier so we can, just get the word out about different events and different things going on. And it seems like the different apps will do one thing, but not the other thing. It's like, is there any app that does all the things to make it easier to do social media? Like, for example, to get it out to all the platforms. I have just left my brain what we're using for that. But it's great about getting out to all the platforms, but it does not work well with video. So like you can do you can do some of your messages, but you can't use it with video. It's really silly that way. And then, so it's just really frustrating. We can't seem to find one social media tool that will do all the things we're wanting it to do. And so I didn't know if you guys had ideas on that. The other thing is we're really trying to be conscientious about putting our resources out into different languages. And so I know AI is getting amazing about that, but the ones that we are looking at are super expensive if they're good. And so we're wondering if anybody has found any that are good and yet still affordable, or maybe for a nonprofit, really affordable. Yes, go.
Love it. All right, let's do social media first. Anybody got a all-in-one social media go-to? Anybody using something? Feel free to unmute. Go ahead,
So
Don.
just a clarifying question. Are you speaking of something like Hootsuite, or that allows you to schedule and put all your posts out at the same time at all the different platforms? Or are you not looking for something like that?
Yeah, something that allows us to get it out easily to all the different platforms and that works really well with video specifically. I cannot think of the one we use right now, by golly, but the one we use right now works pretty well for everything except for video, and then it just doesn't. And so we're wanting to get one that does a better job with that. But thank you for that clarification.
Yeah, if you're not using Hootsuite, you might look at that.
You're absolutely. I was seeing if I could share my screen, but I cannot find my account now. Gain, GAIN. Again, has a price tag, but they do offer a nonprofit subscription. It's the step up from Hootsuite. I loved it when I ran social media accounts and then have every nonprofit that I've been to kind of carried it with me. And so it will connect to almost every social media account, social media platform out there. It's a scheduler, it's an approver, which I loved because my spiritual gift is not spelling and grammar. And so, yeah, so sanctification. So anyway, Gain does scheduling. So what your person or you would do was you would create your graphic and then upload it through Gain, and then you would all in one, Charlotte. It's amazing. All in one. You click Facebook, you click Instagram, you click LinkedIn, you click you just tell it what to go. And then it actually in your calendar view shows you that post in its different forms for each platform. So where one graphic won't work for Instagram, you may have to tweak and you can re-upload it. But what I love too is you just press that duplicate button so where you don't have to do it each time for the 5 social media platforms that you do. So anyway, Gain is a an organizational tool, really. But it also is kind of the one I have found to do all the work for you other than things. So scheduler, approver, like if you want, scheduling being if you want to set it to next week, go out at a certain time. It also has AI compatibility too, to where it's helping you write content, captions, has a digital kit within the game platform to host all of your logo stuff and whatnot. Anyway, it's the closest one I have found. So Gain, Gan, app.com, Gain app. So, but great question because this is, automation is our friend, y'all. So, any tools that are automated. Cool. Gain just gave Hootsuite the boot. Again, Don, but I do think Hootsuite is the first step because it does have a free I think maybe it's been a long time since I've used it. It may free, but if you're wanting that step up, you've got more social media channels. You are needing to see something in a visual appealing calendar way. It's definitely I tell everyone that it's the one. So constant contact. Okay, let's talk about email. What's your go-to favorite email campaign platform for your ministry? What's all everyone using? So Charlie's using Constant Contact. Um, good old MailChimp. That's what we got. Um, anybody else found something other than Constant Contact and MailChimp I've used Brevo too, which I think it's something new. Um, but anybody using anything else? Jumping in the chat, you can unmute as well and tell us about it. Sophie, tell us, how are you using MailChimp?
We use MailChimp every single week. We have a mail group that we send to all of our leaders, and we put out any announcements that we have. We also put in our weekly lessons that they can see. And what's cool about MailChimp, you can actually upload the file directly to MailChimp and then put a button in there. And they can click on it, and then the file's there. They don't have to download it to anything. It just creates like a website for your file, which is really cool and very user friendly, I think. So all of our leaders really like it. I also like that you can schedule the emails to be sent out, which is really nice. If I have time, I'll create the ones for next week, and that's really nice. So
Yeah, absolutely. So how have you, Sophie, as far as video goes, do you just just put the YouTube link inside MailChimp or how do you ever send out video content with it?
we haven't done any videos like that before, but I know like links work really well, so I assume it would also work to use a YouTube link, but I'm unsure of that because we don't really use it for videos.
Yeah. So MailChimp has a great just drag and drop application. You choose the video and then just take your YouTube or your Vimeo link. Vimeo. I get those two mixed up. One's for taking money, one's for video. So they're very, very much different. But anyway, and then you plug in and MailChimp populates that thumbnail. So that's the one we like to use. Absolutely. Cool. Anybody else using anything for email or communications in general? We've covered GroupMe, we've covered email application. What's other ways that you communicate with your the people in your ministry or volunteers? Is there another way besides those two that you use?
Well, we're struggling with social media and communicate. A lot of our families don't want their family members on Facebook or any of that. It amazes me how many of our members have cell phones and they do text. Sometimes they record and send voice messages. we've struggled with avatars. This might sound stupid, and maybe it's just I'm an old man, but there's a stock avatar maker on my Samsung phone, and it'll make a heart, and it'll laugh, and there's motion to it. And I don't know how to make it do like I'm praying for you, or church type. Can you go somewhere and get avatars made that you can, I've looked for it, can't find it. It might be something you all know.
All right, Sarah, go for it because this is out of my wheelhouse too, so I'm ready to learn.
I don't know about the avatars, but Church Center app also lets you communicate with other people within your organization without having a Facebook.
Gotcha. Cool.
So you can
Anybody?
have like a group just for, your toddlers class or a group just for your youth group, without having to deal with the social media issue.
Yeah, we're not recommunicating to families or volunteers as much as we're communicating to adult, military challenged people who are quite capable. And so it kind of, not to be inappropriate, it kind of has a youth group feel to it. And so, but reading is an issue, so um, I would love to find a way to make a more functional avatar that we can use just on my phone app for texting one person. Your dad's sick, I'm praying for you, type stuff, not even math. Sometimes math, but both ways.
That's a great idea. Anybody, this is one thing we'll add to our list, but anybody have avatar knowledge? Okay, great idea. We're gonna look more into that, Richard, because I don't know if you what we're doing with roundtables now is we're creating a resource after this to send out so that the things that we don't know we'll do more research in, and then we'll call for collaboration. But we'll be sending you all a PDF of just like a recap of how to use tech savvy tools in ministry. Bitmoji, thank you, Megan. Okay, Richard, Bitmoji is great for creating avatars. Again, another Bitmoji. So look into that, Richard. Tell us what you think after looking into that. Wonderful. Thanks, y'all. All right. So the next 10 minutes, we're just gonna kind of wrap up here. Open up the floor. Is there anything else tech-wise, ministry tools? We could even venture out. I know I mentioned at the beginning that I love a good timer. So think now toward maybe tangible tools that, technology had to happen to create them. So what are some tools that you may use specifically? I'll use my example again, like a timer. Um, uh, my favorite one is it's called a time timer. And they make all different sizes and count down visually. And so is there any other tools like that that make ministry easier that you're using that may not be a digital platform? No? Okay. Crickets. All right. Cool. Well, good deal. Yeah, absolutely, Sarah. Visual schedule posting in the classroom, that it's a tool, right? It's a tool for ministry. Anything visual, we've talked about social stories today too. Absolutely, absolutely. Premium Spotify account to play worship music. Absolutely, Teresa. Spotify, you know, Apple Music, YouTube, a playlist, whatever it may be. Those are tools as well uh, to use in ministry. And so, go ahead, Sarah.
Just with using like a playlist kind of your entire class, keep in mind that for some students that is unbelievably overwhelming as far as extra noise, so keep the volume down.
Absolutely. Definitely, definitely.
As otherwise some of your students are going to have behavioral issues because of your fault.
Absolutely. Sure. Sure, sure, sure. Okay. So just wrapping up, do this one more time for me. Open up your chat and just tell me what tool you're going to look more into. Maybe not go with, but what are you jumping on Google in the next few days and going to say, hey, I'm going to look more into that because this is something that my ministry needs. Which one was most helpful for you? All right. Hey, we did not even talk about Chat GPT. Man, Jason, thank you so much for yeah. Utilize Chat GPT. It has its pros and it has its cons, but it is something that's very helpful in terms of idea generation. Like when you have that fog of like, man, I got this thing, I need help, throw it in Chat GPT. Ask how you can solve problems. So that's awesome. Yes, Charlotte, thank you for telling us about Accessibility. Going to look into that for sure. Yeah, um, absolutely good. I'm glad we gained some new tools for ministry in this round table. Um, yeah, so I'm going to close this out again with prayer just because I'm grateful for your time. I'm grateful for this conversation. You'll be looking for an email just wrapping up with some other things uh, in regards to tech tools as we um, again, collaborate together to welcome and serve individuals and families impacted by disability, mental health, and trauma. We're grateful for you all. Please know we're praying for you this summer in all the ministry endeavors that you have. Grateful for you. Let me pray and we'll end our time together. God, thank you so much again for this time. Lord, again, we are grateful for technology. We know you provide us with tools we need so that the gospel message may go further and may be used for your glory. Lord, thank you for these tools that we all shared. Thank you for just new advancement in different things to allow us to do ministry well and effectively. Lord, I pray for each church leader of what they gain from today, you would help them implement into their ministry and for those tools to be used for your glory in different settings. God, thank you so much for what you're doing in disability, mental health, and trauma ministry. I pray blessings on these church leaders and families. Lord, thank you so much for your son, Jesus. It's in his name that we pray. Amen.